Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. After years of delays, a murder suspect is expected in virtual court this morning for a pretrial hearing. And the Pacific is on watch as a tsunami advisory looms following a massive earthquake. Plus, new details are emerging about the gunman in a New York shooting, what police now know about the motive.
And y'all probably already know what I'm about to say. It's going to be a hot one today, likely the hottest day of the year on the Crossroads. With the big question is, will it hit 100? We'll find out in the weather coming up.
And Texas A&M Victoria women's soccer turns a new page, hiring a new head coach. We'll talk about this later in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week.
Halfway there.
But if you're on your way to work this morning, you may want to listen up because there is some dangerous fog activity.
Yes, that is right. We got a little bit of fog that we were dealing with around the area this morning, and it's not just in Victoria, like you can see right there on the camera. This is going to be in southeastern Victoria City. We're talking about right around, it's looking, you see those cars in the background, that's Loop 463 and kind of intersecting with Highway 59. So this is the Victoria Emerging Technology Complex, southeastern part of the city, where we're right now looking at visibility about, we're going to say that's about an eighth mile, a little bit more, maybe a quarter mile right now. But I actually just stepped outside here, just outside the station. In the city, Victoria City, it's about a half mile right now. So while we're expecting it to continue densing up a little bit more with the temperature still slowly falling down to that dew point right now of 74 degrees. Temperature is 75 right now, so it's pretty nice out there, but still humid. And that's bringing us, like I said, patchy fog all around the Crossroads. So use those low beam headlights, and your windshield wipers are your best friend in this scenario. But today, water bottle is also going to be your best friend because looking at yesterday's temperatures, you can add about 1 degree to all of that to today's temperature. Thinking about 100. We'll look at all those details coming up next.
The pretrial hearing for Fernando Acosta Jr. is this morning, and it will be done through Zoom. He's indicted on charges of tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and the murder of Amanda Johnson. Her body was found by two hunters in a burnt vehicle on April 18, 2021, near Midfield in Matagorda County. She was 38 and a mother of two. If convicted, Acosta faces 5 to 99 years or life in prison for the murder charge, 2 to 20 years for the tampering with evidence charge, and 6 months to 2 years for the state jail felony charge of abuse of a corpse. On April 17, 2021, Amanda Johnson was reported missing from Victoria. The next day, she was found murdered in a burned vehicle on a rural Matagorda County road. The suspect in her case, Fernando Acosta Jr., was indicted on June 21, 2021. A judge denied his request for a bond reduction a few weeks later in July. Several trial dates were reset, including in November 2023, February 2024, and May 2024. The trial was expected to start April 7th with jury selection, but was once again pushed back. Now comes the latest pretrial hearing this morning. Victoria ISD is facing a penalty from state regulators for a violation at its Career and Technology Institute. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation says the school's cosmetology program didn't follow proper sanitation and sterilization procedures for equipment. The violation was found earlier this month. The district is now facing a $3,000 penalty. We reached out to the district about the violation and we're waiting to hear back. Huge waves were seen reaching the coastline of Hokkaido in Japan on Wednesday after a magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck Russia. Japan's weather agency upgraded its warning, saying it expected tsunami waves of up to 10 feet to reach large areas of its coast. As of 4 this morning, it was downgraded to an advisory. Warnings were in place for Alaska, Hawaii, and other coasts south toward New Zealand. The Honolulu mayor, during a media briefing on Tuesday, urged residents to head to higher ground. We now turn to new information about the man who went on a shooting rampage inside a New York City office building. We learned overnight he left a second note behind. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
A prayer vigil last night for the 4 victims of the deadly mass shooting inside a New York City office tower. Officer Dinarul Islam, who was working an extra shift, Wesley LePatner, who worked for Blackstone, and security guard Alan Etienne, and Julia Hyman, who worked on the 33rd floor.
This is the time to stand up and say no more slaughter by a weapon of mass destruction designed to kill people on the battlefield, not in our buildings here in the great city of New York. That era must end.
Crews seen boarding up broken window panes in the lobby of 345 Park Avenue. The NFL now keeping its offices there closed through the end of next week. Food and personal items left behind from people running as the gunman approached. This man was across the street.
All of a sudden see a guy walking with an M4. You would think, say something. You know, nobody on Park Avenue said anything. Everybody, I'm literally watching the man walk up to the building stairs. I'm standing right underneath the stairs where he's getting ready to shoot. No one says a thing.
We're learning new information about the gunman, 27-year-old Shane Tamura, who walked into that building, opening fire on his way in.
We're getting multiple calls from 345 Park Avenue.
Making it to the 33rd floor where he continued his shooting rampage before turning the gun on himself. Police now investigating a second note from the gunman found in Las Vegas. Sources telling ABC News it includes an apology to his parents. And ABC News has learned the gunman's father was an officer with the Los Angeles Police Department before retiring in 2017. Authorities believe Tamura was targeting the NFL's headquarters, but took the wrong elevator bank up, instead going to the offices of Rudin Management. This second note comes after the discovery of a 3-page note in Tamura's pocket, in which sources say he blamed the NFL for his traumatic brain injury, saying on this page, "Study my brain, please. I'm sorry." Tamura played in high school in Southern California, but never professionally. Officials are still trying to figure out how he obtained the gun used in the attack, an M4-style rifle. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The Justice Department wants more information on the Jeffrey Epstein case unsealed. Attorney General Pam Bondi and other top officials filed a memo to the Southern District of New York Tuesday night. It cites intense public interest as justification for the judge to consider releasing additional records. Additional info on the case could be problematic for President Donald Trump. Questions have emerged over how much he knew about Epstein's sex trafficking activities. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:37 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A Crossroads teen makes a big splash at a National Rodeo Queen event.
An earthquake in Russia triggers tsunami evacuations along the Pacific. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the urgent warning from local and national leaders.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it's going to be another hot one all across Texas, possibly 100 in Victoria. So coming up next, I'll tell you if I think it'll be 100 near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Weather Wednesday. For your Wednesday, the weather is going to be quite similar in just about every aspect to what it was yesterday, Tuesday. Starting out with the fog, just like yesterday, it's a little bit foggy out there right now and pretty patchy in nature all around the area. But just like yesterday, I think that'll burn off between 8 to 9 a.m. all the way down to some mostly sunny skies today. So it's going to be a little bit warmer. We'll look at those temperatures here in a second, because before that, I want to let y'all know I think we're going to have one more chance to see fog overnight tonight, forming around the area after 3 or 4 a.m. However, I think it's going to be a little bit lighter than what we're seeing right about now and also yesterday morning. So just be careful if you see any of that tomorrow morning. But today, just make sure to be extra careful because it's going to be a hot one today. Looking at your future tracker to see why that is. Well, first of all, we have high pressure quite literally like right here on our doorstep, and we also have lots and lots of sunshine today. I know this looks mostly cloudy on the future tracker right here, but all of this right here is going to be that upper level thin, the kind of milky wispy cirrus cloud. So it's going to still be mostly sunny. That'll heat us up to about 100 degrees right here in Victoria. Looking at your almanac, that's 4 degrees above where we're supposed to be. Average is 96 this time of year, and our record is 104. So we're 4 degrees below that, set in 1914, a long time ago. But let's see who's going to hit 100 degrees, shall we? And then about noontime, we're looking at about low 90s for everybody. But in the afternoon, I'm going to say this. Everybody along Highway 50 or 77 and westward towards San Antonio is going to hit 100 degrees today. Silver lining to today's heat is that it's going to be not as humid, only 20 to 30% with a westerly wind in the morning. But it's going to stay hot for the rest of this week. It's summertime, y'all, but it's also hurricane season, so we'll look at the tropics next.
Texas A&M Victoria announced yesterday their new head women's soccer coach in Kimberly Utrecht, and she was a previous assistant coach for both the men and women's soccer teams last season. And again, yesterday we had a chance to speak with her along with other media outlets that were there about how she just feels becoming the new head coach. What are some of the challenges she's going to face being a first-year head coach for the team?
So far, really just enjoyed my time here for the last 5 years under the previous head coach, Adrian Rigby. He really kind of laid a foundation and we really built a good program together, and now it's kind of my chance to put a unique spin on something that was already good. There's this foundation that has been laid previously. Moving forward, there are going to be inherent challenges of just taking over a team.
Now, Utrecht also mentioned she wants this team to feel more together this upcoming season. She felt that was kind of missing from last year's team, and hopefully they can get that together because Texas A&M Victoria, again, will begin their season on August 30th at 1 p.m. versus Oklahoma City. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus on your Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Now to the latest on the tsunami threat along the West Coast, as well as Hawaii and Alaska. It's recently been downgraded to an advisory from a warning. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the latest.
This morning, one of the largest earthquakes on record has millions along the Pacific bracing for the threat of a tsunami. A massive magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck off the coast of Russia Tuesday, triggering tsunami warnings and evacuations in more than 20 countries. Russia, the first to feel the effects. This video circulating online shows the waves rushing into a coastal city, carrying buildings away. In Hawaii, officials asking families to get to higher ground.
We would not be doing this if this wasn't most serious at this point in time. So please take this very seriously and don't go down to the beach. Don't be looking at waves. Get yourself as high as you possibly can.
Hawaii's most famous beaches evacuated as lifeguards tell families to leave immediately. Hotels on the island also telling guests to move to higher floors. The governor of Hawaii warning that all shores of the island are at risk for a significant wave that could be 6 feet or higher. In an alert, the National Weather Service warned the danger can continue for many hours after the initial wave as more arrive. The National Tsunami Warning Center, based in Alaska, also issuing a tsunami warning for parts of the state. And on the West Coast, a tsunami warning also issued for the California coast, from Cape Mendocino north to the Oregon border. But the entire West Coast on alert overnight.
Attention please, attention please. Tsunami alert is issued now.
And in Japan, millions of people told to evacuate. Some people even seen moving to the top of tall buildings.
Please do not run out of the building and stay in the room.
Several U.S. military bases in the path of the tsunami are bracing for impact, evacuating some facilities and urging families to get to safety. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Congratulations going out to Cuero Teen and Texas High School Rodeo Queen Taylor Martin. Taylor just competed in the National High School Rodeo Queen competition up in Wyoming, representing Texas with style and confidence. She won the appearance category, and out of 43 contestants, she placed third runner-up overall. Way to go, Taylor. We're proud of you. If you have a pothole you're dodging every day, let us know. We found these at Oleander Drive and Poplar Avenue. Send us a photo or a video of the pothole you're dealing with, and we'll get it on the next Pothole Patrol. We'll check in next week to see if the Pothole Patrol sparked action. Let's get them fixed together. Email us at staff@crossroadstoday.com. And it is just about 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A local medical center is exploring funding options that won't require voter approval. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy 17th birthday to Jordan from Mom, Dad, brothers, and all her family. We love you so much.
Oh, happy birthday, Jordan. And also happy birthday to Derek. Happy 16th birthday, son. We love you so much, and we are so proud of you.
And the Terminator is celebrating a birthday today. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is known for other action films like Predator and True Lies, both great films.
Oh yeah.
All before his stint as the governor of California turns 78.
Ooh, happy birthday to the Terminator. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
And I want to wish Lauren a happy birthday, and the time is now 6:47 on our Wednesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right.
And don't worry, because we'll be back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you may have noticed I've risen the temperatures on every single day for the next 7 days, about 1 or 2 degrees. Why is that? Well, you probably heard me tarping about this all week long. We've got high pressure, first of all, right on our doorstep. Sinking, expanding air underneath that is going to bring us to the upper 90s and low 100s, and it's going to stay like that for the next few days because you can see it's going to be right here on our doorstep, right here in the Gulf, some, a couple hundred miles away, and that'll keep us in the upper 90s for the next few days. But what is this blue thing right there? That is what we like to call a cool front. Something we haven't talked about in a long time. Now, don't get excited because you just saw right there, it dissipates right before it gets down into South Texas. Probably going to dissipate somewhere in Central Texas, but I do believe a little bit of it might trickle through, so we might see temperatures drop down to about 1 or 2 degrees, up to still 97, 98 degrees. So it will still be hot. And then as we go all the way to next week, upper level high pressure, not surface high pressure, is going to build, and that will bring us right back to the heat, which is normal. It's August. And actually, speaking of August, it's hurricane season, and we're coming up on the peak of the season. Right now, we still have a little area we're watching for tropical development between the 5th and the 10th of August. That'll come off of a tropical wave that is way out in the deep Atlantic right now. But we have another area we're going to watch between the 4th and the 9th with another wave that'll come off of the African coast real soon. And if you thought that was busy, look at the Pacific. 2 active systems right now and 3 possible systems soon, none of which coming our way. We'll look at all that more later on Sunrise.
Citizens Medical Center is nearing the completion of its $21 million ICU expansion. But before reaching the finish line, the hospital is asking county commissioners for one final green light to help cover the cost. 25 News Now anchor Shauna Curry tells us more.
Citizens Medical Center broke ground on its new intensive care unit expansion in April 2024. Now it's taking the next steps to finish the project. To pay for it, the hospital is tapping into a mix of cash reserves and something called certificates of obligation, low-interest, long-term debt that does not require voter approval. County commissioners already approved a $10 million CO in 2022 for the initial phase of the expansion. Now hospital leaders are asking for the same amount to finish the job.
The state enables counties like ours to issue long-term debt on specific projects that serve a public need. And really, we see our hospital as one of the highest priorities here in the county.
It's a similar approach the hospital used to fund its emergency room expansion. Since Citizens is a county-owned hospital, the county issues the debt and the hospital pays it back. Right now, Victoria County's total outstanding debt is just under $34 million, with more than half tied to hospital projects.
Hospitals like ours across the state have faced challenging times with reimbursement rates that are a challenge from insurance, from the feds. But what we've done is be able to do some things that a lot of other hospitals can't. At a time when other hospitals may be consolidating or closing or encountering these difficulties, we're expanding, we're growing, we're offering more services.
The final vote on this next round of funding could come soon.
The numbers in terms of what's included in the resolutions are not to exceed numbers. Right. The Commissioners Court is in no way committing itself to do these transactions at this point. It's simply a housekeeping chore to get the process started.
If everything stays on track, the ICU expansion is expected to be complete in January.
COs do not require voter approval unless 5% of qualified voters petition for an election on the spending in question. That would be about 2,700 registered voters. Citizen CEO Mike Olson in a statement said in part, Through changing times, we remain financially responsible with multiple initiatives underway to reduce expenses and increase revenue while maintaining our competitive wages and top-notch hospital staff. You can read his full statement at crossroadstoday.com. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support the county using certificates of obligation to fund the ICU expansion? All right, let's take a look. 70% of you say yes, and 30% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. There's a growing debate over the best path forward for the economy amid concerns about rising prices. The Federal Reserve will likely keep rates steady despite President Trump's objections. He says the board should cut rates or Powell should resign. Lower rates ease borrowing but can fuel inflation, already a concern due to tariffs. Trump probably won't fire Powell, whose term ends in May. New tariffs start Friday, though Trump denies they cause inflation. Union Pacific said it would buy smaller rival Norfolk Southern in an $85 billion deal to create the nation's first coast-to-coast freight rail operator and reshape the movement of goods from grains to autos across the country. If approved, the deal would combine Union Pacific's stronghold in the western two-thirds of the U.S. with Norfolk's 19,500-mile network that primarily spans 22 eastern states. The Trump administration aims to rescind a key scientific finding that supports U.S. greenhouse gas regulations. The EPA's proposed rule would undo a 2009 declaration that carbon dioxide and other gases endanger public health. This endangerment finding is the legal basis for many climate rules under the Clean Air Act. A Dallas millionaire is seeking permission to drill into the massive Carrizo Wilcox aquifer to explore how much water is available. If fully realized, his enterprise could drain 15.9 billion gallons of water from the massive body each year. Read this story by Inside Climate on crossroadstoday.com. And now let's get a look at some of that dangerous fog out there with Parker. How's it looking?
You were absolutely correct, Carolina. We are still dealing with some of that dangerous fog that is actually patchy in nature all around the crossroads this morning. You're looking at the Victoria camera right now, which is looking southeast near Lone Tree Road and the 463 loop over there by Highway 59, southeastern Victoria. Looking southeast, it's about, visibility is about, I actually been doing a little bit of math here a second ago. Visibility is about 500 to 600 feet right now. So please stay safe if you're hitting the roads this morning. That's all thanks to the temperature meeting the dew point of 74 right now, bringing us 100% humidity. But like I said, you can see it's not just in Victoria. We've got it all around the crossroads this morning, except for the northern folks right now. So y'all please stay safe. But more importantly, stay safe in the heat today, because it's going to be the hottest day of the year so far. High of 98 today in Port Lavaca. I'm thinking 100 today in Victoria. Underneath those, mostly sunny skies. Like I said, maybe some cirrus clouds over our heads today, and 100 as well in Cuero. But get used to this heat, y'all, because it is the dog days of summer. We're in the end of July and beginning of August, and that means the heat is going to continue for us all the way into next week.
Yes, be careful on your morning commute and be sure to check the back seat of your car before you leave it today.
Please.
And thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, 10. Have a great Wednesday.